This is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
Hey, 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 hey.
Come all the way from San Francisco. Please put your hands together for Samson Koletkar. I live in San Francisco now, but I am originally from Bombay or Mumbai, if you are politically annoying. And I was raised Jewish. Somebody's choking on that idea. Okay, right reaction. That's like you don't know how to react to that. That's what I got throughout my life growing up in Bombay. Every time I told people I'm a Jew, they'd be like, Jew? Dude, we know just two Jews, the good Jew and the Punju. Which one are you?
Hello and welcome to the Stars of Comedy. I'm Akriti Tyagi. Paramhans Yoganand explains it very well. Let my soul smile through my heart and my heart smile through my eyes, that I may scatter rich smiles in sad hearts. Our guest for today was born in Mumbai and raised Jewish. Growing up in the world's most crowded city, he spent most of his childhood years burning the midnight candles for earning a master's degree in computer software, thereby fulfilling his parents' dreams. He then moved halfway across the world to the technology headquarters and hotbed for emerging comics, San Francisco. He brings a refreshingly new approach to cerebral, witty, thought-provoking, clean humor with a first-generation immigrant perspective. Please welcome all the way from the Bay Area, Samson Koletkar. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thanks for having me back again.
It's been a pleasure. What can I say?
Yeah, and it has been fun too.
Yes, it has been. So tell me, between the last time till we met today, how's the life been in the US of A?
It's been good.
Okay.
It's been good. Still a full-time stand-up comic for the last 4 months.
Wow.
Working on a whole bunch of things, started some new shows. So, and decided to come back to India for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's been good. It's fun.
So before I start, I really want to know that, you've obviously taken up comedy as a full-time profession
Yes.
fairly late as compared to, amateurs,
yes.
as most people would. What made you decide that you wanted to pursue comedy full-time?
So the tipping point actually was the last job that I was working in.
Okay.
Just was so bad for me personally that I decided it's about time to take a plunge.
Okay.
So that sort of pushed me into it. Somewhere around late last year, I was doing the Seattle International Comedy Competition up in Seattle. So I had like a whole week to myself without the wife and kids to really evaluate my life. And I was like, I don't know if I like going back to work every morning. And so I quit in December.
Okay.
Yeah, walked in on Monday and resigned on Tuesday.
Wow.
24-hour notice.
Okay.
Something I never imagined I'd do in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Comedy is, inherently not a very viable career option.
Correct.
Was there any sweat, tears, and generally, some allegations and drama at home?
There definitely was, especially I think with my dad.
Okay.
Because he's like, tera dimag kharab ho gaya, right? You are at a high position, making good money.
Yeah.
You want to give all that up for doing what? And I think this trip, I have been able to convince him a little bit about the advantages of doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because it's the first time in the 16 years that I have lived in America that I've made 2 trips to India in the same calendar year.
Wow.
And I have a third one planned for the end of the year. So earlier it was like once in 2 years, 3 years maybe. Now it's like twice a year. So like, look, there's some good things to it. He's like, okay, I get it. So,
Okay.
and there's always like, now the fire is lit under me, right? So I have to make it work. Earlier I had some, like I can relax and slack because I had money. Now I don't. So I have
But
to
that's
make it
also
work.
probably a good, you know, in a way, it'll prompt you to do, prompt you to
More
give
things.
your best foot, put your best foot forward.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's some of the things that I'm doing already. I stepped up on the shows that I'm doing regularly in US. I run weekly shows there. Now I'm doing 5 a week.
Oh, wow.
And I started a monthly in San Francisco.
Okay.
We're planning to add one more after the Desi Comedy Fest in August. And the Desi Comedy Fest itself, the step up that we have done from last year, it's very promising. So yeah, taking it head on.
But in America, I get different questions when people find out, oh, born in India, raised Jewish. They have a lot of questions for me. You know, questions like, really? Are you really Jewish? So what are they expecting me to say? Oh no, you got me. You are so good at recognizing people just by looking at them. You must be Columbus. Or the other question I get a lot, are both your parents Jewish? No. My father is a Christian and my mother is a Muslim, and they hated each other so much, they raised me Jewish.
For the uninitiated, obviously, you're the co-founder of the Desi Comedy Fest.
Correct.
It's started on a very smaller scale about 3 years back. This is your 3rd year running.
Correct.
Tell us more about it.
So I'll actually go a year before 3 years because
Okay.
I had produced a show with 3 Indian and 2 Pakistani comics.
Okay.
We called it United We Stand Up. And we did those shows on 14th and 15th August to commemorate the Independence Days of the two
Days,
countries.
yes.
And that received a decent response. We weren't sold out for both shows, but we did well enough.
Okay.
And that sort of planted a seed in my head. And then somewhere between August of 2013 and August of 2014, Abhay and I met up. We spoke of a bunch of things. South Asian comedy was booming even in America. We were seeing a lot of South Asian comics coming up. And we sort of figured we should provide a platform, do something like this. And plus, the Indian community, especially in America, is a thriving community.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of money on a lot of things. And we thought, let's take some of that money back. And so we're like, okay, let's do this. We do a good production, we do a good show. We will have people who will come and watch.
Yeah.
And that's how it launched, actually. In the first year, it was just out of, let's do something fun. We did 4 shows. And surprisingly for us, all 4 shows sold out.
Oh, wow.
And so we're like, oh, we may be onto something. And then the last year, we decided to do it again. But it was also about sort of proving to ourselves that the first year was not a fluke, right? No
Yeah.
beginner's luck, and we can actually do this. So we decided to double up. We did 8 shows. Not all 8 sold out, but it did well enough that we knew we were onto something.
Absolutely.
And so this year we are quadrupling, not the shows, but
This
the
year
size
it's
of the
crazy.
audience.
I mean, your lineup, the sort of
Yeah.
venues you're looking at.
Yes, much bigger venues, much nicer venues, much more, right? The number of shows haven't grown significantly, but we went from an average of 150, 200 seat theaters to an average of 400 seat theaters.
Wow.
And we're doing 11 shows
Yeah.
across 9 cities and 50 comedians from 9 countries. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be fun.
I don't know if this happens in India, but in America, when my wife and I were planning to have kids, our friends with kids of their own offered us a weekend with their kid. Right? They're always like, oh, you're planning to have kids? Come spend a weekend with my kids. Now, my wife and I had been planning to get married for 2 years. Nobody offered me a weekend with their wife.
But is the experience of being an NRI comic in terms of the audience and the material that you use? I mean, is it any different for both the countries, or you stay true to your topic, your type of comedy?
I tend to now stay more focused on what I want to do.
Okay.
Because I'm very opinionated and I have strong point of views that I want to express, right? So that's what I focus on.
Okay. But what sort of stereotypes did you have to fight while in the US?
So I don't know if I can say that personally. I faced a lot of it,
Okay.
but I've had those moments. I remember one show I was doing. There were telltale signs it's not going to be the best show I'm doing. I was performing for a fundraiser
Okay.
for a wheelchair foundation, the venue was not wheelchair accessible,
Oh.
which to me was the most ironic thing. And that is how I started the show, right? And everybody in the room tensed up. They're like, dude, why are you pointing it out? I'm like, because that's what we comedians do, right? That's the irony.
You've touched the tendency of American comics to rely on vulgarity, you know, as a part and parcel of the society probably that they're in, or the sort of comedy that they enjoy. How do you stay original to your content?
So let me refine that slightly. I wouldn't say all American comics rely on vulgarity, but from what I have seen, that seems to be the dominant style of comedy, especially in the amateur circuit, right? And so that's what I did for the first couple of years myself, because that seemed to be just a natural way of doing comedy. But then along the way, as I discovered more and more of the comics there and see what they do, I also realized that's not necessary. Like, it's a conscious choice that you make, and then I decided to focus on things that matter, and that's how my comedy evolved.
Okay, so the fun with Samson continues. Don't go anywhere. We're expecting you to come back because there are going to be more revelations.
I saw this big billboard advertisement for Emirates, and the advertisement reads, Emirates, we now fly non-stop from Hong Kong to Dubai. Why is that sign in Bombay?